Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. My name is Ashley and this is the Library of a Silver Saint where we talk all things books. I hope you're all doing well. Happy weekend. It's Saturday finally when I'm sitting down to record this. I have been waiting for the weekend to arrive. It's been a week, guys. It's been a stressful week, hasn't it? It's been so stressful. Ernie agrees. He's particularly stressed right now because he's had his breakfast today, right? But I haven't walked him yet. So, you know, I'm failing in his eyes as a parent. This is a daily occurrence. I'm sorry. Please accept my public apology. Ernie, I will take you for a walk as soon as we have filmed this. I promise, I promise, I promise, I promise. Anyway, I hope you're all doing really well. I've got a very snuggly boy here with me today, so he's just knocked over my pile of books. That made you jump, didn't it? Was that scary? Anyway, I hope you're all doing really well. How are you all getting on? Oh, I've got a frog in my throat today. I thought today I would record my 10 before the end because I've seen quite a lot of people sharing their 10 before the end on Instagram and things like that. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a go at doing my 10 before the end. And this, I have to preface this. This is just what I would like to do before the end of the year, but may not be able to achieve. It's just fingers crossed. Hopefully I will be able to read these books by the end of the year. So this is just like an approximation. This is just a fingers crossed I'll get to all of these books by the end of the year. If I do, great. If I don't, that's fine. We're obviously like over halfway through October now, so really running out of time, and I've got quite a few buddy reads lined up. So some of these are buddy reads, some of these are new releases, but I just thought I would list as many as I can. A few of these are series as well, so that's why I sort of say I'll try to get to as many of them as possible, because a few of these are in a series and I don't want to just list books from a series to sort of make up the 10, but there are, for quite a few of these, I've got multiple books left in the series to read. Sorry, just Ernie with his squeaky toy in the background. So yeah, I've tried to compile a list and hopefully you'll enjoy this. So I'm sure none of these will be a surprise to any of you. Oh my gosh, the biscuit tea is needed. It's so grey today. Day's death is upon us, guys. It's back. I'm going to get the obvious ones out of the way. And I think probably the most obvious, the book that most people would say, oh, of course, this is going to be on her list. I was almost going to just do it as an honourable mention. But no, it deserves its place. We've been waiting for it for long enough. It's Library of a Silver Saint for a reason. Come on. Obviously, one of my 10 before the end is Empire of the Dawn by J. Kristoff, book 3 in the Empire of the Vampire series. I am so excited. This morning I sat and did a post for Instagram. I've done a few of these before and I really enjoy making them, where I take photographs of the illustrations from the Empire of the Vampire books and add Sleep Token lyrics to them, because for me, those two things go hand in hand, and it just got me really excited. I actually now also have the little sample of Empire of the Dawn on my Kindle because it was available through NetGalley, and I got it, and I think me and Abby, Books and Three Cats, may sort of just go for it at some point, just be chaotic and just embrace chaos and just say, let's read it. But I'm so hesitant to read it because I just know as soon as I finish, because I think it's only book 1, because I think there's going to be 6 books in it. It's just book 1, and I'm just worried that I'll get to the end and think, and really want to carry on and not be able to. So I'm not sure. But for certain, Empire of the Dawn is on my 10 before the end, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to get it next month and to finally be able to read it. And I just want to, I'm actually going to change how I read a little bit and just read that, I think, rather than having lots of books on the go at the same time. I'm hoping to sort of wrap up lots of buddy reads by that point, so that when Empire of the Dawn is released, I can just focus on that wholeheartedly. I don't want to binge it and just, you know, read it too fast, but at the same time, I just want to be stuck in that world. So Empire of the Dawn is absolutely on my 10 before the end list. And I hope it's on loads of your lists as well. Okay, the second book that is on my 10 before the end list is, and again, this would be actually, if I was going to cheat, I would say that there are 3 books in this. And that is, so it's Era 2 of Red Rising. So obviously in the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown, we've got the first era, the first 3 books that could act as a trilogy on their own, which is Red Rising, Golden Sun and Morning Star. I'm currently re-listening to them at the moment, currently rereading. So I've finished Red Rising and I've actually finished Golden Sun at this point as well. I've just started my re-listen of Morning Star. And then we get to Era 2. And I never started Era 2 after finishing the first era, because lots of other books sort of came up and I never got to it. And I wanted to reread them because the graphic audio is just so entertaining. It's so brilliantly done. And they've been great to listen to on dog walks this week with this little guy. So I am now, I've nearly finished my re-listening of Era 1 to go to Era 2. So in Era 2, we have Iron Gold, Dark Age, Lightbringer, and then that's all in preparation for Red God, which we don't have a release date for yet, but the final book 7. And I'm so excited. Oh, hello. Love you. So I'm really excited for that. So Era 2, I believe, is set quite a few years after the events of the first Red Rising trilogy. So we're with Darrow, but a lot later on. I'm not going to sort of say any more than that because obviously I don't know because I've not read them. And I'm guessing, could be spoilers for the sort of first trilogy. So I'm not going to say anything else, but I'm going to be reading Iron Gold very soon. So I'm going to finish Morning Star and then start this because I'm really excited because the graphic audios are currently being made. Part 1 and Part 2 of Iron Gold are both out because they split it into 2 parts. And they've actually started the graphic audios for Dark Age. Dark Age Part 1 is released on Audible. So I'm gradually working through, but I'm actually hoping I might actually be caught up with this. And it might be before they do the graphic audio for Lightbringer. So I'll probably read Lightbringer physically. But yes, I'll be moving on to Era 2 of Red Rising. And hopefully, I might not be able to read all 3 of them by the end of the year, but Iron Gold for certain, and maybe Dark Age. The next one, I'm going to hold up 2 books, but I'm going to class them as one. And this is part of my read-along. So with Imi, Abby and Abby on Discord, we are doing a buddy read, a read-along of The Lord of the Rings. I have actually just finished The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I finished it this week, so amazing. I can't talk about it here. I'll talk about it in a different video, but obviously hoping to carry on. So in November, we are reading The Two Towers, which I think might be my favourite because it's my favourite film. My favourite film changes every time. I finished the extended edition of The Fellowship of the Ring, the film, for probably like the 17th time last night. And then I was like, this is my favourite one. And I know I'm now about to go into The Two Towers and I'll think, no, this is my favourite one. And then I'll go into The Return of the King and think, no, this is my favourite one. I think it might be Two Towers. Oh, I don't know. They've all got such good moments. It changes as I watch them. But we're going to be reading The Two Towers, so starting in November. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then also, of course, moving on to Return of the King, which is just fantastic. Now, as I was saying earlier, because Empire of the Dawn is coming out, I want to make sure I devote a lot of time to that. So I might actually wait to start The Two Towers until I've read Empire of the Dawn. Unless I do the audio, I'm not sure. Because the audio by Andy Serkis is so good. But anyway, nevertheless, these are on my 10 before the end. But I'm going to class them as one because it's one book. I will be carrying on with my Sun Eater journey. Now, I'm not sure how far because I'm buddy reading The Sun Eater by Christopher Rocchio with Andrew, Brother Grimdark on Instagram. I'm not sure how far we're hoping to get with Sun Eater because we're kind of just taking it, cool. Like we're sort of, the aim is generally to just sort of do one book a month. So we are currently just over halfway through Demon in White. I read my chapters this morning. Andrew, if you're watching, I read my chapters this morning. Phenomenal. 5 stars already. I'm only 55% through and I'm like, yeah, this is 5 stars. It's phenomenal. I'm losing my mind. Andrew's losing his mind. We're all losing our minds. Everyone's losing their minds. So we will probably be continuing, but there's 2 aspects to this. So there are novellas in between the Sun Eater novels, and the next 2 novellas from Andrew and I are Tales of the Sun Eater Volumes 1 and 2. And actually, we should have technically already read Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 1 before Demon in White, but we didn't. Whoops. So we need to do Tales of the Sun Eater Volumes 1 and 2. And then the next novel after that is Kingdoms of Death. So we might be able to do all of those because we just might. So we might be able to do all of those, maybe not. Maybe we could do more. I don't know. I think realistically, Kingdoms of Death and Tales of the Sun Eater Volumes 1 and 2 sound the most realistic for the time frame that we've got for the rest of the year. And then that would leave us with, what would that leave us with next year? I'm just sort of thinking what books would be left because we've got Kingdoms of Death. Oh, and then we've got Ashes of Man and Disquiet Gods. And of course, there should be some more novellas in there as well. But then also the final release at some point, Shadows Upon Time, is being released next month, but obviously Andrew and I will not be caught up by then. But Shadows Upon Time, so we will have 4 more novels to go after Demon in White. So we should be looking to finish sort of early 2026, which is so exciting. But yes, but in terms of 10 before the end of this year, I'm thinking most likely finish Demon in White, Tales of the Sun Eater Volumes 1 and 2, and hopefully Kingdoms of Death. So That's very exciting. Okay, my next book is going to be The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. I have been waiting to read this for so long. I say waiting, I could have read it whenever I wanted to, really, but, you know, other buddy reads and other things were going on. I read Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong back in February with Abby, Books and Three Cats. We did it as a buddy read, and it was one of my favourite books of all time. And I actually can't wait to reread it so that we can discuss it together on one of our episodes of Overdramatic Book Fanatics. The Sword of Kaigen, though, came out before Blood Over Brighthaven, and so many people talk about The Sword of Kaigen and how incredible it is, and how much Misaki is loved as the sort of female main character, lead character. It sounds absolutely phenomenal, and I can't wait to read it. So Abby and I are hoping to buddy read this in December. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. I can't believe we haven't read it yet, but we're going to do it in December and then having a chat about it. Forgive me, I do realise that in this video I'm not talking about the sort of the plots and everything. I have not read them, so I don't know. I could be giving some summaries and I feel bad that I'm not, but I thought it might take me a little while to get through, so I do apologise. I'm not giving the summaries, so I'm a bad book person, but I do apologise. Next, in my 10 before the end, I'm not going to say how many because there are loads, but I'd like to obviously get through a few more volumes of Berserk by Kentaro Miura. So I'm up to Berserk volume 11. I'm hoping to read this weekend, or at least start it this weekend. And I've got on my shelves up to volume 15. No, I've got volume 15. So I've got 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 all on my shelf. So I'm hoping to get through a few of those, maybe all of them. And then I will carry on. So yeah, I'm just going to say a few volumes of Berserk. I would like to get through a few more volumes of this and then just gradually continue making my way through them. But yeah, Berserk is just on there. It's phenomenal. I'm absolutely loving it. As heartbreaking as it is, as dark as it is, it's a phenomenal series. And I can't describe the feeling of when I'm reading this. I am locked in. I can't think of anything else. And every time I have to put it down, I'm so sad. I'm like, no, I can't put it down. I have to finish it. That's the feeling. I could just sit and finish the whole thing in one go. It's just impossible to put down. I love it. I love it. I need more of this guy. Guts is everything. So yes, more Berserk. The next book that's on my list to hopefully read before the end of 2025 is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I spoke about this recently in one of my other videos where I spoke about books that have been on my physical TBR for too long, part 1, because I've got parts 2 and 3 to that video coming out soon. But The Book Thief, I posted a picture of some of the books that have been on my physical TBR for the longest the other day. So many people said, because I think I said something like, which would you prioritise? You know, which ones have you guys read? And so many people commented saying, you need to read The Book Thief. That one needs to be prioritised. And I do have a hankering to read it. I've just got this urge that it needs to be picked up really soon. So yes, I'm hoping to be able to pick this up soon. I'm not sure when. I don't know. It's, you know, I always say this. I say, oh, I want to pick this up soon. Then I'm not able to, or I just don't. Hopefully. This just sounds incredible. So novel narrated by Death, 1939, Nazi Germany, country is holding its breath. Death has never been busier. And this book is narrated by Death. And it just, I've been told I will need boxes and boxes and boxes of tissues. So that sounds like it's the kind of book that I would love. Come on. I love devastation, apparently, which is unfortunate. Okay, the next book that is on my list, I think this is number 8. I think this is number 8. If Alex, my friend Alex, Nightshade Journal, is watching this, she's going to be so happy with me. The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is book 1 in the Kingkiller Chronicles series, which is an unfinished series, a famously unfinished series. I believe there is book 2, which is The Wise Man's Fear. Are there any books beyond that? My friend Alex absolutely adores this book. So many people adore this book. I think it's foundational in a lot of fantasy, for a lot of fantasy readers. I am really scared, though, to read this because of how famous it is. It's one of those things where it's so highly anticipated for me. I think that's one of the reasons I've been putting it off, because I'm just so concerned that I'm like not going to like it, or it's not going to live up to the hype for me. I trust my friends. That was loud. I trust that this is popular for a reason. I'm going to read The Name of the Wind. My friend Alex actually recommended that the graphic audio, or the audio for this, is really good. So I might give that a go, because it sounds like it would be quite relaxing to listen to. I'm scared. But hopefully I will love it. So I am hoping to get to this before the end of 2025 because I think otherwise Alex will probably kill me. So yeah, Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Another book that I really hope I can get to is The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. I was very kindly sent this in the post by Tor Books. So this is a arc, and it's one of the, I've only ever received a couple of these, but this one I am very excited for. This one sounds absolutely incredible. So I would love to read it. So it's being released. I'm just having a look. It's being released in February 2026. So I definitely need to get to it very soon. And I will read the blurb for this. So in 1785, Professor Sebastian Grave receives the news he fears most. The terrible beast of Gavorden has returned and the French countryside runs red in its wake. Sebastian knows the beast, a monster slayer with centuries of experience. He joined the hunt for the creature 20 years ago and watched it slaughter its way through a long and bloody winter. Even with the help of the demon he plays host to, it nearly cost him his life to bring the monster down. Now, 2 decades later, Sebastian has been recalled to the hunt by Antoine Avenel d'Aucerne. Oh my gosh, that was really challenging me. And a strange lover who shares a dark history with the beast and a terrible secret with Sebastian. Drawn by both the chance to finish the beast for good and the promise of reconciliation with Antoine, Sebastian cannot refuse. Some monsters, it seems, simply won't stay buried. This just sounds incredible. I love that. Do you not love the sound of that? Doesn't it sound awesome? Also, look at that. How cool is that? It's so beautiful. It sounds phenomenal. I really want to give this a go. As I say, it's being released next year, 26th of February, 2026. So I know that it's probably a bit of a cheat to include it on this list because it's not a book that's currently out, but I do need to get to it very soon. So before the end of the year would be ideal. So yeah, Red Winter sounds amazing. And thank you, Tor Books, for sending it to me. I'm very excited. Finally, I'm going to talk about the Tawny Man trilogy by Robin Hobb. So I am currently reading Fool's Errand, which is book 1 in the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the 3rd series in the Greater Realm of the Eldlings by Robin Hobb. And we're following Fitz Chivalry Farseer. So the same character that we're following from the Farseer trilogy. And oh my gosh, can I just say, firstly, it's so good being back in this world. And it's really nice being back with Fitz as well. It feels really cozy. It's so lovely. It's perfect to read at this time of year. I'm having the best time. Loving it. So we're currently reading Fool's Errand. Now, I'm not certain sort of how we're planning to go ahead with it. I'm reading it with Abby Books and Three Cats and V from Books and Cocktails After Hours on Instagram. And we haven't really discussed sort of what we're going to do in terms of the next book. So we're obviously reading Fool's Errand book 1 in October. And I'm not sure what the plan is, whether it's to sort of do a book a month or a book every other month, maybe every other month. So book 2, Golden Fool, and then we have book 3, which is Fool's Fate. I'm hoping that we might be able to do Golden Fool at least by the end of the year. So that is also on my 10 before the end. Like I say, being back in the world with Fitz, being back in the Six Duchies is just, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I had a very mixed experience with the Farseer trilogy. Loved books 1 and 2, and I really struggled with book 3. And I think a lot of that is because I read them using the audiobooks. I listened to them. And for me, the audiobooks personally, they just didn't work. They're not very strong. But reading it physically again, it just, I think for me, these stories, I devour them when I read them physically, and I'm just loving it so much. And it's just wonderful. And all of the little webs and links of lore that Robin Hobb has sort of woven throughout is just beautiful. There are references to obviously the first trilogy, of course, but there are references also to the Live Ship Trader series, which is my favorite series of the year so far. And every time I get a little nugget, it's just like the best. It's like a drug. Sorry to quote Edward Cullen from Twilight in the film, but it's like a drug to me. Honestly, when I just get a little bit of lore from another book or another series, I'm like, just give it to me. I get so excited. Also, as a completely random side note, those are the 10 sort of books and books that I'm hoping to read, like 10 before the end, just as a completely random side note. But coming back to Lord of the Rings, guys, I don't know why I ever doubted the books. I think because I love the film so much, I was always just so scared that these wouldn't live up to it. Who was I to ever think that these would not live up to the films? They're completely different. And there are lots of differences and there are lots of similarities. I think the books were done perfectly as books. I think the films were done perfectly as films. Honestly, this is amazing. The thing in the books that I love so much that you don't get in the films, because you don't have time in the films, is the lore. Guys, the lore in here. I am saying right here, right now, as I finish the Lord of the Rings, I want to listen to the Silmarillion. That's a bold statement, right? I want to read the Silmarillion because the lore and the history is blowing my mind, and I just want to go and study Middle-earth. That's what I want to do. I want to quit my job and I want to go and study the history of Middle-earth. That's what I want to do. That's all I want to do now for the rest of my life, is just study Middle-earth. It is, what is my hair doing? That's all I want to do. Quit my job, go and study Middle-earth, the history. That's it. There you go. If you're wondering what I'm doing in 5 years' time, it'll be that. I'll be sat in a library somewhere studying Middle-earth. Isn't that the dream? That's the dream, isn't it? Phenomenal. I just had to mention it. I don't know why I was ever so worried about reading it. Anyway, that was chaotic. I'm really sorry about that. But those are my 10 before the end. Maybe, fingers crossed, hopefully, might not sure. I don't know, I'll try my best, but those are my 10 before the end. Please let me know in the comments below what some of your 10 before the ends are. I would love to know. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do give it a like. I would be so, so grateful. And if you would like to stick around and become a firm member of the Library of a Silver Saint, we would love to have you here. Look at that tired boy on his sloth. Cute. We would love to have you here. Please do hit that subscribe button. You can become a firm member of the Library of a Silver Saint forever. Once you're in, you can't leave. You're trapped. You're stuck here, like he is. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.